Welcome back. Well, from the first day of this year, there's been a directive from the Nigerian Communications Commission that the denomination of international termination rates would be in the US dollars. The House of Representatives has held a hearing with Nigerian NCC and mobile network operators, MNOs, as well as local operators, international data access operators on this. And prior to that commencement of the new NCC directive on billing in the US dollar, the IDAs paid an average rate of 29 naira 90 kobo to the MNOs per minute. And the payment due to the MNOs per minute includes VAT, regulated at 26 naira 25 kobo. The Nigerian local IDAs who are licensed by NCC to deliver this traffic to the MNOs can only run the cost of delivering the traffic and make a marginal profit within the balance of 2 naira 75 kobo per minute. Now, the MNOs were already receiving 24 naira 20 kobo. That was without the VAT. And now they have been told that they could do it in dollars. But we have a representative of the local operators with us now, Dr. Pedro Obaseki. He is an NCC licensee and the Chief Executive Officer of the African Content Company Broadcast Multimedia Limited. Thank you so much, Dr. Obaseki, for joining us this morning.
Thank you, ma'am.
So a lot of us make international calls,
but
I guess we don't really understand, the back
backdoor mechanics.
Exactly.
Yes.
Help us to understand as plain as possible,
okay.
How it works.
There are two things, free. Most of the calls that come into the country or leave the country come either through a pipe, a dedicated pipe that is licensed by the NCC, and it is carried. It's like traffic. It's like when you make a call, it's like driving cars on the highway. Now, in that virtual highway, there are licensed companies that carry that traffic into Nigeria, and they must terminate on an MNO, a mobile network operator, and there are only 4 in Nigeria. So the 4 MNOs are known to everybody. You must have one of them as your line. Now, once it comes into the country, that cost of traffic in it is paid either by the call originator, the person who placed that call, maybe on a T-Mobile, and is calling you, or you are placing the call on your local Nigerian line.
Any of the networks that we use here in Nigeria.
That are used here in Nigeria. And so that is how it works. The second one is you can also do it via VoIP, voice over IP, VoIP, or voice over internet protocol. And that usually affects the fidelity of signal sometimes, because it's not based primarily on the local networks, moving it from base station, others not mast, from one base station to the other. So once you get a call, you're actually getting a call from the nearest base station to you. So now the MNOs usually have what they call a universal access license. That's why they paid a lot of money for those licenses. But all the segments of the telecoms market, or the telecom sector, you have voice, you have SMS traffic, then you have data, in a basic sense, internet. So all these are combined, and then the NCC, the Nigerian Communications Commission, is given the power by the federal government to regulate, authorize, license, the entire, it's like the central bank of everybody that operates within the sector. Mm-hmm. So they tell you how to, how not to, where not to, when to, and when not to. And anyone who contravenes any of these rules is usually comes at a penalty. Of course.
Yes. So you have the operators who make up this value chain.
Yes.
One of whom you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the MNOs straddle that value chain.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so you are in that local value chain. Now, with this directive by the NCC that, you are part of the local, so you now have to pay in dollars.
In fact, that is, I think Nigerians will understand this. We used to pay normally in Naira because we are local companies. This is a transaction between a local Nigerian company and another local Nigerian.
An MNO operating in Nigeria.
All the MNOs are in Nigeria.
Yes.
All the MNOs work in Nigeria. All the
they are licensed
by Nigeria.
By the NCC.
And yes. So, for example, I have an office. I'm an IDA, for example. I have an office on Awolowo Road. and a major MNO is at the end of our Road. So what he's now saying is now I have to pay the MNO, the mobile network operator, in dollar for a transaction that exists between two companies in naira.
So, but the call is mostly an international call.
No, that is not. It's like because of the fact that the Nigerian crude oil is, because we are at the back end. You know, we are at the end of the transaction.
Termination.
The termination. We are the downstream sector. If it was in the oil industry, it's like telling a local NIPCO or a mobile that is selling to you a gas and telling you because this gas was refined in another country, come and buy the petrol at the petrol station in dollar. It is not done.
So
in fact, the NCC, we are trying to tell them that, look, first of all, you cannot reinvent the wheel. There is a standing regulation. There is a constitutional provision that you are breaking. It's even criminal.
So, I mean, what have you done about it if it is unconstitutional?
Okay.
What have you done about it?
It was like, it's like almost triple jeopardy. I don't want to say double jeopardy. Number one, the NCC purportedly comes out with a policy that is dated November 25th, 2021. They call us for a virtual meeting on the 15th of December, 2021. And then tell us in that meeting and on that stuff, that was the same day they published the same on their website, and say that by 31st of December 2021, that is exactly 15 days later, there will be the end of the old regime of 29 naira, which is the total package. How
long did you have this 29 naira regime before this change?
Okay, the 29 naira regime was arranged in 2018. It was reaffirmed in 2018. And it was even easily broken down. So everybody knew where each person was participating in the process. So
sorry, I'm asking that to know, for instance, when it comes to power, PHCN, there's supposed to be a minor review of tariff every once in a while.
If you notice, in the last 10 years, you have never been charged a dime above 4 naira for your SMS traffic. You see, you cannot do things. You see, a business is in situ. Now, the end consumer is not being charged a dime more. I'm sure in the last 10 years, you have not been charged a naira more for a minute of call. That is the same transaction. So if, for example, there is no upward mobility in the consumer end of the transaction, there shouldn't be an upward mobility in the man who carries the traffic. Let's put it this way. You are buying Omo at the market for 50 naira. I am the transporter of the Omo, and my transport cost has been built into that 15 naira, maybe at 10 naira. You are still being charged 15 naira for buying that Omo. And now you are now telling me that I have to now pay 35 naira in carrying the Omo to you. It doesn't work. It's almost like reverse osmosis.
Okay.
But the major problem is, there are three major problems. When they keep talking about the dollarization and the substitution or dollarization within the Nigerian economy, which clearly violates this Central Bank Act of 2007, which makes it criminal for any company to do that. It is a minimum of 6 months imprisonment. Let's put that aside. Number two, the NCC comes up with a tariff and gives a floor. And it says the floor is now 45 cents per call. And then tells the MNOs to do as they so wish in determining what the international data access operators should pay the MNOs. And then the MNOs now decide, vaguely, to now charge us 62 cents, which is almost 17 cents above the floor mark that the NCC had prescribed. Then they did not stop there. They now charge the foreign participators who don't live in Nigeria, who also carry traffic like we carry traffic into Nigeria, and charge them 55 cents. That is, if Pedro, ACC Broadcast Multimedia Limited, we have a license, we are going to pay one of the MNOs, I don't want to mention their names for call, but people know what the MNOs, anybody that provides you a mobile telephone service. I will now pay them 62 cents. But the non-Nigerian who is outside of Nigeria, we pay them 55 cents, making it 7 cents costlier for a Nigerian operator to carry traffic to a Nigerian man's phone.
So what do you want?
No, this is simple. We said, you see, all over the world, there is universal access license operators, which the MNOs are made to operate what is called accounting separation. Number two, all those countries, even if you are in South Africa and you are carrying traffic into South Africa, they make this South African company pay 50% across board of the total amount that is paid by the foreign competitor. But in Nigeria, it's reverse. The local content provider, is now meant to pay 7 cents more than the... Then in that process, I am VATed, 7.5% extra. We are meant to pay commission on turnover. Then you will also pay now, if you are to do the foreign exchange transaction, you will now also pay the wire transfer fee. Meanwhile, the MNOs don't remit the monies to Nigeria. They don't pay the VAT into Nigeria. Why? Because if they get 55 cents from the foreign competitor, it is declared as a non-local transaction. So Nigeria loses out from every traffic moved into any of your mobile phones from abroad if it comes from the 55 cents licensed by the MNO to Nigeria. It's crazy.
All right, so Dr. Basaki, yeah. I believe you've been having talks with the NCC. They are the major regulator. We are also trying to reach out to them to get their own side of the story. But meanwhile, you are a business operator in Nigeria.
Yes.
I know you were trying to expatiate on the impact it will have on the economy.
Yes.
For you as a business operator, what has this done to your business? What impact has this had?
I think it will be very disgraceful for me to actually say how I feel. But let me say this. Some of us have fired our staff because we can't cope. And all the contracts we have are contracts we have signed with foreign mobile networks. They don't sign them in 2 weeks. They are signed a year ahead, 2 years ahead. So by January, all those that we are trafficking into Nigeria, we were losing on every minute of the call, 7 cents every minute. So some of us just went to the server and turned it off. So the business is down. So the business is not down, is out, is gone. So, and when I remember the president speaking to us last year and insisting that the telecom sector must have enhanced local content participation, we are only less than 5 to 7% of the total sector. And we are looking at a business that is the biggest business in Nigeria, where Nigerians are not allowed to play in the business. In January 2022, the telecom sector, Nigerians don't know, declared 257 billion for 1 month. One of the bigger players, the biggest in the Nigerian sector, makes 6.7 billion. I'm saying this on air per day. At 75 million subscribers, if you pay only 29 naira and make only 1 minute of call per day, and Nigerians are not allowed to play in that sector. But I can tell you for free that channels cannot operate a television section like this in the broadcast and telecom sector in South Africa. Nigeria must rearrange its priority, and I think the moment to start doing that is now. The best thing that they should do, I want to appeal to the NCC and the Nigerian government, is to follow international rates. The international rate is 15 cents per minute. And they should give the local players 50% across board per that minute. That is the only way that Nigerians can play. You know, in your program earlier today, I was looking at it, and you said one of them is floating a 127 billion placement in the market. No Nigerians are there.
You have Nigerians employees and
why should Nigerians be servants in their own manner?
All right, Dr. Pedro Basaki, Chief Executive Officer of African Content Company Broadcast Multimedia Limited. This is certainly not the end of this conversation. We're going to follow it up. We hope to have the NCC also, on the show to push on this conversation.
I hope the show
Thank you so much.
Thank you
For sparing us your time and sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you
On the show this morning.